I'm turning that light on there. What's up? How's it going? We're just getting the lights turned back on here. This room gets really hot. Turn down a little bit. Oh yeah, down a little bit there. That'd be awesome. Perfect. Thank you very much. Ah! Yeah, it's pretty bright actually where I am. Finally, the really good crap. Finally. Let's see here. All right. What's up, guys? Wow, a lot of you guys sitting there waiting for me to jump on. I really appreciate you guys taking the time. What's up, Demetrios? How's it going, Sean? Toot. Harsha, how's it going? All right, you guys got me here. We're good. Gonzo. Let's go. Love it. Had to go to Walmart to buy notebooks. Awesome. Totally coming to Boise. Woo! Awesome, guys. Super cool. We had a lot of you guys come join tickets. I'm actually super psyched. I have not told my audience yet, and I will make sure that I keep it under wraps for just a little bit here. And so that you guys can go in and grab, because there's a lot of people on the waiting list. So I am fearful that we're going to run out of seats quite soon. So it's exciting, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it is also a reality of the scenario. So anyway, excited to have you guys, though. So let's go ahead and let's jump in here. Someone said I couldn't get the ticket link. It was just asking for my email, like a waiting list. It should be back and ready for you. If you guys go to offermind.com, should be ready to rock. Offermind.com. And if you're still having issues with that, just know that you probably have to look in incognito or whatever. And yeah, it should be ready to rock. Okay. Let me make sure that we're set to go here. Okay. And my CPU will either melt or explode or do something crazy before then. Let's see, loud and clear, ready to rock. Quality problem. Yeah, exactly. It's quality problem there, 100%. Okay. All right. Here we go. Yes, and then the discount codes, those will all be emailed out for the correct people soon as well. So some of you guys I know are waiting on discount codes. If you got the One Funnel Way through me or other various places I've allowed a discount to happen. Most people don't have that, though. So anyway, those will go out soon. All righty, here we go. Okay. Takes this little ring said I burned 1,000 calories just teaching in one day yesterday. And the day before that was the same thing. Okay. Boom! What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the OfferMind Masterclass. I'm excited to have you guys today. This is session 6, and it is officially the final session of the OfferMind Masterclass. Pumped to have you guys here. What we're going to be doing today in the final session here is I'm actually going to teach you guys more about the order that I like to build all of those offer templates in. Now that we've gone through and you've not only helped select the actual market that you want to go into, you've found the actual person inside of them, you're using a lot of what they're currently in to gather data both for your sales message and your offer, right? Now it's time to go in, especially now that you understand a lot of these templates as well. I'm going to go in now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out the order that I like to do this in. Now, this is not actually usually that long of a session, but I want to explain it in some depth, okay? And let's start from the very top here with this so that you understand why we do it the way we do it, and not just myself either. This has been powerful for a lot of people. So let me jump into this. So again, this all starts out, right? This is called value ladder design. And something to caveat real quick off this is that I don't want you to think that you have to have an entire value ladder designed before you can start building stuff. So I'm going to... I used to sit down, and the first time I ever read a book like .com Secrets, or I started learning the concept of a value ladder, I would literally walk around in my classes, and I'd sit down in my classes, I'd walk back and forth, I'd be reading the book, but I would sit down in my classes, and my value ladders would look like this. Okay. It was just like, it was nonstop. Okay. There were so many items in a value ladder, and there were so many things that I frankly didn't understand what that meant. I didn't understand what it meant to draw one. I didn't understand what they were. Now, just to share with you guys a few things on this. So I call this value ladder design, but it's also a section that I've got called hacking the value ladder. So there's two parts to this that I'm going to go walk through. The first part is I just want to teach you about the value ladder in general. I'm just grabbing my notes here on this to make sure you guys get the full, and the who's who and the what's what. All right. So here we go. Okay. Now, as now these are patterns that I've seen, patterns I've noticed as I go through and do this stuff. What I've been doing is this. Check this out. So let me draw. There's certain things inside of the value ladder that hold different roles. In my honest opinion, going up on like increasing levels of value or increasing levels of price, that's not the only thing you're doing when you really start thinking about a value ladder. The benefit of this is that I actually am not having to go in and write this massive 30-page business plan. Okay, this is literally about as much as I actually plan a business. And anytime I talk about an ocean, right? Right, the health, wealth, relationships. You guys have seen this a million times now. But if we got health, wealth, relationships right here, and there's a red ocean going on right there also, right? Anytime I'm going in and I'm designing a new ocean, what really it is a value ladder. Okay. So it's an ocean, but the thing that inflates that, the first thing that goes in and inflates it is my core offer, your core offer. Okay. But inside of it still is an entire value ladder. And I typically try my best to keep things down to just 3 steps to keep it very, very simple. Stuff that's mid-tier priced, stuff that's cheap, stuff that's really expensive. The only other phase that I will toss on side of a value ladder is this free area. And that's where like sales funnel radio exists. That's where all the things that are cheap exist. That's where a lot of relationship building things are. Okay. Let me actually dive into this though. So you understand when I say value ladder, a lot of times for me, that's synonymous to market. Okay. It isn't a market, but it's how I'm going and serving the market and the products I'm creating for it. So anyway, so let's think about this. And I am going to, first of all, go through some value ladder basics. Because I think this will be helpful for you guys. Now, at the very bottom, like I said, that's a lot of the stuff that I have that's free. Russell has called this the free line. The free line, anyway, for me, it's more of a section. And these are more like phases instead of steps. But anyway. Okay, so let me just draw like this. All right. So on the side here, we've got obviously value. Has this been valuable? All right, then we got price. Okay. Now down at the bottom, this is a lot of the stuff that is free. I'm going to go from the bottom up here. And I want to share with you guys a few things you can create. I want to look at this from several aspects. There are typically, right, time to fulfill is not the same for every step. Margins, not the same for every step. The role of that step, not the same as all the rest of the steps. Okay, I've really broken this down. It's been very, very, anyways, let's keep going into this so I don't keep stopping and pausing. Okay, so at the bottom for a lot of these things is free. And what I want to do real fast is just walk through some of the funnel types that fit the best inside of these value ladder steps. Okay. Oh, what's up? Okay, so at the bottom, I've got a publishing. I'm starting to lose my voice, I think. I've got a publishing funnel. Okay, these are all funnel types. Okay, publishing funnel, hero funnel, or what we call a funnel hub. If you guys go to stevejlarson.com, that is my funnel hub. It's where all my funnels are. It's like a big map for everything I do. Most things anyways. Sometimes we call an abbreviated version of that a hero funnel. It's a single page funnel. But a lot of free stuff is down here. Okay, free, cheap, but very valuable. What's fascinating is that you usually have to work harder to sell free and cheap things than you do to sell expensive things. It's like an inverse relationship here that goes on, which is actually very counterintuitive, especially for a brand new entrepreneur. That's not normal, right? It's not normal. It doesn't feel normal or natural, but it's the way it is. Okay. The further you go up, it's actually easier to sell a person more expensive stuff than it is the cheap stuff. Because as we were talking about before, price is not just a way to exchange value, right? And get something in return and hand things off, a problem and a solution being solved. It's also a filter. Okay, so what's interesting is that if I don't have a filter, or I mean a lot of price, I usually end up getting individuals who want me to go babysit them more, and people who are wanting me to solve all of their problems for them. And I will never do that. And a lot of times, though, the reason I'm very forward about that is that I used to be that way. And anytime anyone would write into me or anything like that, they'd be like, hey, Steven, you got to go fix this or do this for me, whatever. I'm like, man, that was a $47 product. I already gave you everything I said I would. Why are you acting that way with me? And what I realized was that they wanted me to go do the thing for them, right? One way to look at each of these things, actually, let me keep going here and I'll go on that thought. A lot of the funnels that you'll see at the bottom of the value ladder are very much styled the same way. Okay, so there's tripwires. And if you're like, I don't know any of these kind of funnel types, that's okay. You actually can get an explanation of what a lot of these funnel types are for free. It's a free PDF download. If you go to funnelhackerscookbook.com, that's very helpful. There's a VSL. There's an invisible funnel. Summits. Summit funnels definitely are at the bottom. There is this. All right. We call this the 7-day launch. Anyway, there's a lot of funnel types that fit into this. Any kind of swag, small knick-knack styled stuff, small e-com sites usually. Usually e-com is not selling expensive stuff. Usually some people sell expensive stuff, but I'm saying generally, I'm talking very much in stereotypes here. A lot of funnel types in this area of the value ladder is kind of the bottom. And I'm not saying that you can't do really expensive things with a tripwire. It's just normally we don't use that style. Usually it doesn't serve up that kind of an offer the best, something that's more expensive. Okay. This is usually something that works. We found better for cheaper styled things typically. Anyway, the next area. Okay. The next one, definitely webinar. I love webinars and I think it's hilarious, man. When it's so funny, so many people say webinars are dead. No, they're not. Okay. We're doing quite well with our automated webinar and we get a lot, many thousands of dollars a day, which we've been doing for a long time because of our automated webinar, right? Webinars aren't dead. What's dead is some of the old tactics, but that's like the strategies stay the same. Sometimes you have to do them a little bit different because a rule will come across, or YouTube, like the one everyone freaked out about last time was that, hey, you can't autoplay videos anymore. Auto funnels are dead. Auto webinars are dead. No, they're not. Just change and adapt, right? We're doing that. Okay. Anyway, a webinar product launch formula, like launch, the book launch, or ask, very much can fit inside of these, depending. Typically ask I might put down at the bottom here. For some reason, the launch formula seems to work better in the middle for me anyway. VSLs, I know it's down here, but those also can work quite well in the middle for slightly more expensive tiered things. And then at the very top, for me, I love doing, actually, I'm going to put events, event funnels. Event funnels are kind of in the middle as well there. Also put them here at the top. Masterminds, application style funnels. Those kind of funnels also work quite well typically at the top. Now, again, I'm speaking in some serious generalities. And what I want to do, though, is I want to dissect a little bit more of these stages. And then as we move forward, I'm actually going to teach you guys more about the core offer and those templates we were just walking through and where they most naturally fit inside of them. Just give me one moment, though. Turn that baby down. Okay. You guys got me, though? All right. There we go. Sorry about the lighting. Okay, here we go. So let's walk through the offer role of each one of these here. Okay. So I'm going to say offer role. We're also going to look at, the style. Offer role, offer style. We're also going to look at time to fulfill as well as typical margins. Let me take away price and value here, and let's look at this in a different light. All right. You guys all right? Got that all right? All right, so let's look at this. As far as the offer roll goes, at the very top, usually, who are you selling? All the people who once bought the thing below it, right? Usually what I find is that people, they're not going to just usually just go click on an ad in Google and go straight into buy your $20,000 thing, right? It takes some warming up. That's why it is an ascension throughout. That's why it is that we have them start on a whole bunch of other things. That's why I publish so much, right? I find a bunch of people who want to get into my world. They get used to what it is that I do and the quality that I do it at. And then eventually they're like, I'm warmed up to that guy. He yells a lot. He's a little forward sometimes, but let's go ahead and let's grab him. Okay. So typically right here in this phase, you're in monetization zone. Okay. Now you remember those 4 things that we talked about as far as, the 3 ways to grow a company, right? You can get more customers, you can get them to pay more, or you can get them to pay more often. You're going to see that, right? And we typically do that through monetization, ascension, and acquisition in that order. Okay. Now we do that and you see that inside of here. This is actually how I design someone's business. And these are one of the things that I'll go do inside of a company when they hire me to go in and say, hey, are you looking to monetize in this scenario? Are you trying to prove out your core concept? Oh, you already are proved out. Okay, you need to monetize here. Oh, you don't. You're monetizing hard. What you need is more blood. Okay, let's go grab an acquisition style funnel. Let's do this, right? So it's the same types of things throughout. And this is pretty fascinating when you look at it in this light, okay? So if I go in, this is like a monetization. Monetization style is right at the top there. Okay, next one, Ascension. All I'm trying to do with this area of the value ladder is 2 things. I'm not just ascending them from this step up to this next step. I'm also ascending them from the red ocean into this one. Okay, the core offer fits in this part of the value ladder. Okay, it's the middle. We're going to walk through why a little bit more moving forward here. Okay, acquisition funnel is definitely the one below right here. Okay. And then here, a lot of the free stuff that I do, affiliate outrage, the podcast, a lot of stuff that I put out there. Affiliate things that I promote that feel like would fit my audience well. Those are all relationships. Okay. I'm just focusing on the relationship. That's it. Nice. All right. Now, let me take this other color here so you guys can see a little bit better here. But actually, let's grab this guy. All right. Now, at the very top, let me say right here at the very, very top, the type of offer that I usually build is that follow-up problem offer. Okay, this is the one. Okay. Right here in the middle, or right here at the very, very top. Now, the reason it's at the very top is because, like I said, that style of offer typically requires, not typically, you have to have something in order to get a follow-up problem. So what it's doing is it's looking to see what was before it and the follow-up problems that your core offer created. And then you go and you create another follow-up problem after that, all right? Follow-up problem offer. Okay. Now, a classic example of this would be, again, I'll use a ClickFunnels thing again, like funnel hacks. Okay. There was a webinar called Funnel Hacks. And it was the webinar that proved out that ClickFunnels could sell, right? And proved out that the market actually wanted it. It was the thing that actually got them, I think he made like $10 million in like 2 years, right? Super, like crazy. They grew the entire company off the back of that webinar. What's fascinating though is that what happened afterwards is people started asking more of the questions I was talking about. Dang it, how do I write copy? Darn, man, I need more traffic. What kind of funnel works well for me? How can I go and write my headlines? What should I say in my videos, right? And all these additional problems started. And what's interesting is when you notice what you might notice if you guys are following that world at all, he came out with an additional webinar. Now, it wasn't priced in like the top tier kind of stuff that he sells, but it was definitely more expensive than his first one. Okay. He came out with a product called Funnel Builder Secrets. And what Funnel Builder Secrets was a very similar offer in terms of you're still going to get ClickFunnels, but it actually included a lot of the products to solve those follow-up problems that Funnel Hacks created. Boom. Okay. That's what's fascinating about it. So you'll see a lot of times when people upgrade their offers or change their offers or expand on them, or whatever it is, they use a follow-up problem style offer Now, while it's not always at the top, okay, it's still that offer that comes second to the core offer. Make sense? Okay. The other one is like the follow-up problem offer. Like another classic example of that is like I have a program called My Offer Lab. Okay. My Offer Lab is an event, is a 3-day event where people come in and I help them design their entire offer message and funnel using all the stuff that you guys have been seeing me do, plus more. And then the last day is a huge asset day. And I actually have them create this stuff and we design a launch campaign, an evergreen campaign, and it's awesome. And if they want, they can come in and spend a day with me. If they want, they can pay for me to fly out for a day with them. And that's what it is. And it's an awesome program. Okay. But it is more expensive and it is in reaction to my first product that I put out there, which was the OfferMind event in the middle of the value ladder. Okay. And then afterwards I went and I launched something called My Offer Lab, right? And My Offer Lab is really the main product that I sell at the top. It is the top. There's more. I just haven't told the audience yet and I'm not going to for a while. Okay. It's very exciting. Okay. But that's exactly what I mean. So the follow-up problem offer is the thing that comes in my mind second. In the middle here, like I've been saying, is the core offer. Okay. Your core offer is in reaction, like I said, to that red ocean. So if you can imagine it this way, right? Over on the side here, we got the red ocean. And you are getting them to come over into the blue. Where you're leading them to is the middle of the value ladder offer. Now, some people might fight me on that, or they might say like, well, I'm in a different scenario. Here's the reality. How much money can I spend to acquire a customer when I'm selling a $7 knickknack? $7. That's it. But then not really, because then I have to pay to fulfill on that thing that I sold them. Right? Which is kind of a catch-22. I never start at the bottom. It just doesn't make sense as far as the ads go. You know what's funny is when I launched that first product like a year and a half ago, and it brought in a lot of money really quickly. What's funny is I wasn't running ads. And when we started turning ads on, there's always a phase where whoever you hire to do ads or you do them yourself, you're tweaking, you're testing. It's the exact same thing as funnel launching. You're tweaking, you're testing, you're going, okay, people are reacting this way. Let's change this. Let's do this. Let's make it this way, right? There is not much wiggle room, right? If I can only spend $7 to acquire a customer, I better be a freaking ninja, right? The level of skill that I need to have as an ads driver when my product is only $7 is ridiculous. I can't mess up, okay? I can have a ton of room to mess up when I'm selling something that's $500 to $1,000 or whatever mid-tier product price points your industry is bearing right now, okay? I have a lot of room that I can go and mess up on. So I test the product, both the price points, right? The actual offer, the new beliefs, getting people, is my message strong enough to lead them from the red into my blue? I'm doing it with a mid-tier product price point because it's safer. I can mess up for a while, right? 6 months after I launched that product, the offer was different. Okay. 6 months later. Okay. I would have to have launched that product at the 6-month spot rather than how I launched it at the 0-month spot in order to be safe if I do it at a cheaper price. It just doesn't make sense. It's super hard. It's extremely risky, right? The only numbers we care about, which you guys are, most likely very familiar with, is average cart value and cost to acquire. That's it. My average cart value, this blue's like dead. My average cart value is, all right, that's it. How much can my average cart value allow me to spend money to acquire a customer if I'm only selling stuff that's like super cheap? Okay. So I know I get pushback on this sometimes, but you got to understand, like, you can, like, if you don't have an audience or you haven't been publishing, be prepared to spend money to acquire a customer. You will buy your customers somehow. You're going to buy them, whether with your time or your money. And if you're like, I'm not willing to spend my time to publish, be prepared to spend money. Hope marketing is a terrible strategy. I already had the OfferMind funnel ready to rock, and we actually already had the URL already repointed over, but no one knew about it, right? That is case in point that hope marketing is dumb, right? Just because I build it doesn't mean they'll come, right? And so if I go and I build this amazing thing and now it's live, but suddenly no one knows about it. Somehow you got to make some noise, man. You're a marketer. Noise is what we do, okay? We are professional noise makers. That's what we do, and that's what we are. And if you're not willing to spend your time, be prepared to spend your money. And if you're like, I don't have that either, then go back to spending your time, okay? And get over it and understand that what you're fighting is this. This is the reason why. Is as long as my average cart value is greater than my cost to acquire, I'm making money. Okay. And that's fine. As long as I'm putting $1 in and I'm getting more than $1 back out, it's a success. There was a guy we were building funnels for. I remember, this is one of my favorite stories. This guy was a self-defense trainer, and it's very aggressive actually. But I get it. It was 2 days. This guy came in and he taught the ClickFunnels office how to defend themselves in the form of, hey, let's learn about anatomy so that you know how to actually maim another human being. No karate moves. Let's just learn about anatomy so you know where to hit someone or do whatever. And it was really intense, okay? It was really intense. So we spent like 2 days, like Russell and I practicing popping each other's eyes out, like random crap like that. Okay, it was fun though, but we weren't allowed to talk to each other. We had to approach each other like human test dummies and stuff. It was an interesting 2 days. Okay, at the end of it, he's like, we were building him a funnel. And so we built this funnel, and I was very proud of it. It was a nice funnel, and we launched this funnel out, and we put $1 in an ad. For every dollar we put in ads, they were getting $1.30 back out. Okay, for every dollar they were putting in ads, they were getting $1.30 back out. And they called us, and they were ticked, and they said, why are we only breaking even on this? We're barely breaking even. I was like, you're not breaking even. You're actually making 30 cents per customer that comes in. They're like, exactly. We're not going to make a ton of money on that. We're like, you guys are missing the entire point here. Okay. The entire point. The whole point is that you are now have a machine that you're acquiring customers for free. Now, what we had created for them was a bottom of the value ladder thing. It was the bottom. Okay. And it was the equivalent of it was basically a wish list offer. Okay. So the wish list offer and the straight hack are the two that are at the bottom. Okay, those are the two that are at the bottom. And those are things that we do to expand the current customer base. And that's exactly what they were doing. They already had their middle of the value ladder thing. They had like some really expensive club thing they did as well. What they needed was more customers, more blood in their value ladder, okay, to bring people in and ascend them up. What was interesting though is that they were mad about that. $1 in, $1.30 back out. And we said, you have to understand, guys, like, first of all, why are you so mad about this? Like, that is a success. So like, it's not a success. Like, yeah, that's a huge screaming success. They said, no, it's not. I said, let's think about this for a moment here. You're telling me that you have a machine that is giving you customers for free, actually 30 cents per, and anything you sell them afterwards is pure profit. Guys, break even is $1 million scenario. Okay? Break even is $1 million scenario. That's what we told them. We're like, anything you tell these people now to go buy, they're more highly likely to go purchase. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, let's roll this back again here. Okay. Now let's think about this. When I was in college, okay, this is mainstream entrepreneurship, which is the reason why what I'm talking about is such a big deal. Also, we're not just changing, hey, let's go tweak your offer. Let's go tweak your positioning, your messaging, which this has all been great and amazing, right? This is good content. I know it is. It's very helpful. Helps a lot of people, but it's not actually why also it's so incredible. What's so incredible is this. When I was in college, this is what I was taught. I was taught this. Okay, let me find, here we go. I was taught this. I was taught that when you go and you start a business, the first thing you're going to go do is you're going to write a business plan. And you're going to go gather some of the who's who, and you're going to get people on your team. And then you're all going to think more of your idea, and you're going to go do some market research. And then as you do your market research, you can do competitive analysis. Yay, SWOTs. Okay. You do all these SWOT analysis. You do all this stuff, right? Then you start looking more into the probability of success. And you start looking, right, lots of analytics. Probably my least favorite class was quantitative marketing research. Oh, hated that. Oh, I'm not amazing at stats. But this was the model that was taught. Okay. And this is literally where the phrase comes from, JCurve. right? When you start the business, since there's no revenue yet, I'm going to go into debt in order to fund the business, fund the people, fund the systems, right? I'm not the systems, right? There's a series of systems in the business, right? There's a system for support. There's a system for fulfillment. There's a system to help people actually have success. There's coaches throughout. That stuff costs money. At first, it was just me, right? Okay, but that's not the way I'm taught in college. In college, I'm taught I'm going to go in and I'm going to get a loan. I'm going to go into debt. And I'm going to be in debt for a while. And then there's going to be this magic moment that comes in 3 to 5 years, right? Where I'm cash flow positive. 3 to 5 years where I am now cash flow positive, meaning I'm not losing money faster than I'm making it. Right? I actually am not breaking even. I'm just finally going straight, right? I'm going straight. Woohoo! I'm going straight now. I'm going parallel. I'm not making any of it. I'm not losing anymore. Then I'm going to keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. And it's that 3 to 5 year mark later on where hopefully now you have made more money than you took on to fund the business. Okay. And then this is what you're taught. This is literally it. Okay. Is that when you come up here, now you're into profitability. The moment the curve starts to come back over right here around this zone, right? And you've taken this profit here, which is great. That's awesome. Make a lot of cash. But as soon as you start increasing at a decreasing rate, meaning the moment you get up here and the curve starts going level, you're taught to sell. And you go into the stock market with an IPO and you sell off your company and you no longer own your baby. Okay? That sucks. That sucks. That means I'm going to work my face off. I'm not even going to own the decisions that I go make because most of my decisions will be made by a board because I gave away my business with golden handcuffs and I got a loan, right? That's why Shark Tank irks me, okay? We will skip this entire model with what we're showing you here, okay? That's what we were trying to teach them. We're like, look, $1 in and $1.30 back out means that you're not doing this. It means that from the get-go, you're going you're going up. You're going up. Is it fast? No, but you're not losing money. And we learn and we know that second money is always easier than first money. So anything that you tell them to go buy afterwards, a percentage will go purchase simply because second money is easier than first money. Okay. We skip this entire thing and you get to keep your company. That's why this is such a big deal. That's why we freak out so much about doing this stuff. And understanding more about how to create the offer and the order to build them in makes it so you don't have to do that garbage. Okay. That's why it's so awesome. So you can come straight out here, right into profitability. And so what? Oh, it's level for a while. Oh, you're not making any money for a while. Yeah, you're not losing any money. You own your entire business and you're actually making your own decisions. Merry Christmas, right? So then you start making huge profitability. And you can sell if you want, but you don't need to either. They can just be cash cows like a lot of my offers are now. Make sense? That's why we freak out so much. Tell me many other investments in this entire planet where I can put $1 in and get a 30% return in a week. People boast when they get like a 10% return on a mutual fund. Okay? Seriously, think about it. You know how much money you already have to have in order to actually make a living off of something like that? There's no other logical way to invest in your future in my entire mind than doing a funnel and creating an offer the right way. There just isn't. I don't know another way. Okay. When that Facebook apocalypse thing happened like 2 weeks ago, it kind of jacked our stats up a little bit. But before that, there was like 2 months where we were putting $1 in and getting $8 to $10 out. For every dollar we were putting in, we were getting $8 to $10 back out. It's not as high anymore, okay, but it's still like $1 in, 5 out. You know what I mean? It's like still really 500% return a week. That's not even a year compound. I'm talking weekly. Okay, so you don't take profit. You go in, you get $1 in, $1 back out. Congratulations. Break even is $1 million scenario. Makes sense? The asset is the list. So when you can build a list of buyers for free, most corporate companies don't even begin to comprehend what I'm teaching you right now. They don't get it. They're so indoctrinated in this stuff that when we come show it to them, they're like, I don't know that that's going to work. And we go and we do it. They're like, oh, snap. Huh. There's a company that actually several. There's a lot of companies that was trying to give ClickFunnels $100 million for a while. And we kept telling them no. And they're like, why? We'll give you $100 million on the lowest rates that's ever been, and it's cool because, so I got to sit there in the room while a lot of these conversations were going on, not as far as like with the VC people, but like I would hear Russell and a lot of the other guys talking about it. And so I'd be listening and these guys would be saying things like, can you imagine they want to give us this money? Should we take it? Should we do it? Should we do this? And, it's cool because Russell's like, we don't need it. We don't need it, which blew their minds. It blew their minds. What ended up happening was Russell went and talked with him, went to lunch with him just to kind of humor him. He already knew it was going to be a no, but, makes a cool story, which it did. And he's sitting there and they're like, come on, $100 million. How much money does it cost you right now to acquire a ClickFunnels person? And these are stats from a long time ago, so I'm sure they've changed a little bit. But at the time, as I recall, it was costing ClickFunnels about $120 to generate one trial. Now, for the SaaS software world, right, $120 in ads to generate, on average, one trial. In the SaaS software world, that's actually very, very good. So when he told them that, they were like, oh my gosh, are you serious? $120 to generate one trial? That's awesome. Here, let's give you $100 million and then just get a buttload of trials and lots of customers from it. And Russell was like, no, we turn those ads off. And they're like, why would you do that? It's like, well, because that's coming out of our own pockets, right? $120, that's, ugh. So what they did, and this is what we're teaching, is what I'm teaching you now is the reason it's come to OfferMind, okay? What we teach, and what I teach and what we do is instead, if ClickFunnels, let's say, is in the middle here, again, I'm using it as an example because we likely all know them, okay? What happens is we create acquisition-styled funnels, tripwires, book funnels, VSLs, invisible funnels. We do a lot of summits like we are, 7-day launches, which is something that I did over there with it, right? Even small little e-com stuff for things that they'd ship out. What that does is it generates a buyer very cheaply where I'm only have to put in, 20, I think the last I heard, and I know these numbers aren't accurate anymore, but the principle's still the same. It was costing ClickFunnels $22 to generate one expert secrets buyer, but the average cart value was $66. Okay, because of upsells and the way funnels work and because we're dang good at creating offers, right? And so when you think about this, anyway, what happens is that afterwards, now that we've generated the buyer for free, we actually, right, they were putting $1 in and getting 3 out, $22 to generate a buyer, $66 cart value, right? Divide them out, $1 in, $3 back out. That's awesome. You tell me you get a 300% return weekly? I don't know another vehicle that makes that kind of cash. And frankly, I don't know another vehicle where you can be really, really bad at it and still make a lot of cash, right? In things like the stock market, I'm not trying to throw rocks or whatever, but the majority of the time, you got to have freaking ninja skills to make a lot of money, right? Hopefully with flash in the pan kind of strategies and tactics. You can be bad at this and make a lot of cash. You can be really bad at it and make great cash. I definitely was one of the first funnels I put out there, but ended up making more money than I was making in my job. And I was like, dang, it's awesome. I really can be bad at it and make a great living. Okay, that's the whole point with this. And that's why I'm trying to walk you guys through this. You understand, I'm not just approaching this value ladder design from the aspect of like, oh, this is the good order to go in. What you're doing is you're playing with the reality that those who can pay the most to acquire a customer always wins, even if they have a worse product. Okay, if I can spend $66 to acquire a book buyer, and the book is only $7, right? I'm going to dominate those who are on Amazon who have a locked average cart value. I can only buy the $7 book one time. Does that make sense? That's why it works. That's why what we do is so killer. Okay, so I'm going to go in and generate a buyer for free or hopefully break even. And if I'm making money, man, all the better. I will never dare take profit at this level. But all I do is I create sequences that invite them to come to these next things. And it's pure profit. It's the reason why we make the money we do. And we don't have lots of overhead. Okay, it's because we're marketers. Okay, so what ended up happening was at that VC thing, venture capitalists, if you guys don't know what that means, some of you guys may not, it's fine. So it's these venture capitalists, meaning they're trying to give $100 million to ClickFunnels. He was sitting there at lunch with them and he's like, no, so we turned it off. And he goes, Why would you do that? And he went through and explained it, and he literally drew it on a napkin, very cliche-ly. And he said, we actually turned it off, and we actually make $40 per ClickFunnels trial now. And he said, that's impossible. How are you doing that? And he's like, no, we actually make $40 or something like that per ClickFunnels trial. So that makes absolutely zero sense to me. He goes, no, it totally does, right? And looking at like the expert secret numbers, right? Expert secret numbers for that book funnel. You guys understand how mind-blending this is? This is like, it changes the entire business model. That's why I'm like so fierce with some of this stuff. We got to go push it out there more, right? The average cart value in that funnel was like $66, and then the cost to acquire was like 22. I think that's lower, and I think that's higher now. But anyways, those are some of the stats I remember. So yeah, they're making $40 per ClickFunnels trial, because at the end of the book funnel, they say, go get a free ClickFunnels trial. And then it did. It works. It happens, right? They do all sorts of front ends. That's why he launched the network marketing secrets. Yeah, that's what it calls, right? Network marketing secrets book, right? That book, it's going to be probably similar to something like that. And then afterwards, he promotes them on their main thing for free. He already owns them on the list. He doesn't need to pay to acquire them again. And so he just invites them to go there. Pure profit. Completely negates the need for VC funding. Completely negates the need for you to go give up ownership of your company. Completely negates the any kind of you having to go and make decisions that you wouldn't want to make with your baby. That's why it's such a big deal. Okay, so when I say I start at the middle for this reason, so that I can go in and have more money to acquire a customer, right, than my competitors. If I'm selling my book on Amazon for $20, but dang it, Russell's generating $66 per book purchaser on average cart value, on average $66 per book purchaser, man, he's going to wreck me. You see what I'm saying? If I can spend $60, especially on a book, $60 in ads before I start losing money, game over, right? Again, you can be bad. Oh, darn, it's only 22. You're breaking even. You still can upsell them to whatever your most expensive things are, where you're sending them, right? And straight up monetization. There's going to be a few people, right? There's several people every month. They just come in. They're like, hey, I really just want to get an offer lab. That's the kind of hand-holding I need. Or that I don't want to have to go read the book and go through all the stuff, Steven. Just give me the result, right? You see what I'm saying? All right. So we start at the middle. And then for me, my favorite way to do it, remember that the market changes. Your market shifts. The market for the core offer is the red ocean. But as people start to move from the red ocean into your blue, who do you sell your expensive thing to now? Right? Most of the time, you're not selling it to the red ocean. You're selling to your existing buyers list, your market, the place you go to market, the place you go to sell your goods and services, just shifted. The actual location. It's no longer in the red ocean. It's on your list. It's in the blue. So now everything else that I'm doing from here down is going directly into my blue ocean, my buyers list. So when would I start using things at the bottom of the value ladder? When I'm noticing that my amount of leads are starting to drop, when I'm noticing I need more blood in my value ladder, I need more bodies in the value ladder, okay? In order to do that, I'm going to go do some acquisition-styled offers and funnels, okay? I'm going to run a tripwire. I'm going to do a 7-day launch, okay? I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, hey, let me go in and do a summit. Coming soon, offersummit.com, okay? I'm doing exactly what I'm talking about because I know it works. Okay. We've been doing it. This is what I do and teach, and it works. Okay. Everything down here at the bottom is stuff that I just keep doing to kind of create relationship. All right. And as I'm creating the relationship, it's also introducing them to things in the value ladder, right? Because some people are like, you know, it's interesting, very interesting. In the inner circle. So I'm in the Russell's inner circle. And what's fascinating about the inner circle is there is a large percentage of those 100 people who have never read Expert Secrets or .com Secrets. Mind-blowing, by the way. Mind-blowing. You're like, wait, you pay 25 to 50 grand? It's 50 grand now. You pay $50,000 to be in a mastermind when you could honestly learn a huge percentage as well for a $7 book. Why would somebody do that? right? This is the exact reason why you need something very expensive at the top. There are people out there that are like, look, I don't need another freaking book to read. And frankly, I don't. I've got 4 bookshelves over there and an unbuilt one there on the floor that I know will get filled at some point soon. Okay. I don't need another book, right? What I need is results. I need systems that I know what the systems are that I need in my business, right? There are people out there that are just like, I want the freaking result. I don't want to go in and I don't want to read another book. Don't give me another course. Don't give me another masterclass. Don't give me this, right? And there's a percentage of people that are like, I want that stuff. That's great. So I'm not going to keep people back just because I'm not selling in their way yet, right? I'm going to go and have something at the top. And as I have something at the top and we fulfill it and we make sure we have all the systems built, then it's time to fill the hopper more. And I'm going to go do more acquisition styled funnels. Okay. And this gets stronger and stronger. This becomes the core of the business because it's what builds the top one. Okay. Your red ocean is what builds your core offer mixed with some of your prolificness. But it's this offer that really builds the top of the value ladder offer. Okay. And then what builds the wish list offer? We already walked through that. The data source for a wish list offer is what? It's the buyers. Tell me your wish list. The straight hack, the data for a straight hack offer comes from just sellers, right? While both are right and both are also wrong for various reasons, right? They're great ways to go create really small, cheap front ends that are low ticket, low cost, right? They're low price, low cost, high circulation products. There is just to drill this point in here so you understand this point as well. And one of my favorite books is the book Ready, Fire, Aim. You can see I have it all tabbed out and stuff. It's fascinating. This is something I've been teaching and doing for a while, but then he validated the crap out of it in this book. Inside the book, I think it's on page, let me find it real quick here and I can tell you guys. Page 118. Page 118 literally validates everything I just said. This is fascinating. Now, if you've never read this book or don't know anything about it, the first third, I think, is going from 0 to 1 million, right? So I studied a lot of it when that's what the phase I was in. The next phase of the book is 1 to 10. The next phase is 10 to 100. And I think the next phase is fascinating. It's really, really cool. And I spend most of my time with new people and people who are $1 to $10 million in revenue. That's where most of my expertise lie for a business in those areas. New all the way up to about 10 million. After that, I don't deal with them too much. Anyway, okay, check this out. So he says, oops. So I'm gonna read this segment here. Okay, this is on page 118, right down here on this side. And he says, although your primary focus should always be on customer service, your quantifiable goal as a beginning entrepreneur should be to acquire as fast as possible what we call a critical mass of qualified buyers or customers. Okay. This is the number of loyal customers you need in order to make all or most of your subsequent selling transactions profitable. Okay. This is key. Let me explain that a little bit, right? He said, your goal as a stage 1 entrepreneur should be to acquire as many customers as you can to make all of your subsequent selling transactions profitable. It's literally the exact same thing I'm talking about here. It says, and if you made your primary objective in satisfaction, selling more products to an existing customers who enjoyed their prior buying experiences with you will be relatively easy, as well as cheaper, therefore more profitable. Okay. Once you have a good number of qualified customers, middle of the value ladder, hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands, depending on your industry, you'll be in a really good position where almost every new product you come up with will be successful because so many of your existing customers will buy it. Okay. Break even is $1 million scenario. Just going to keep pounding that point in. Okay. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to test out my entire idea and in the middle of the value ladder price point because it makes more sense for average cart value, cost to acquire. It makes more sense with ad costs that are very real today. Right. I have flex room. I'm able to go and actually test stuff. Okay. So let me keep going. This is good. This is some good stuff here. Okay. So this is the scenario, right? He says, get all these customers in. Once you have a lot of customers that come in, just focus on that product for a while, right? Focus on the middle of that, focus on that core offer for a while. Then once you've got a lot of people, anything you drop afterwards is highly likely to succeed, right? And he even says right here, anything afterwards, as long as they enjoyed their first buying experience, it's highly likely that you're going to be successful because they liked the first buying experience. I was reading this and I was like, oh my gosh, I was on an airplane and I was like, this is exactly what I've been talking about, right? Anyway, check this out. He goes, basically what he says is this. Okay, so that being said, check this out. He says, understand the dynamics of generating long-term profits through the development of large circulation, low-cost products sold at a loss, which you don't need to do that, by upselling high-end products to this larger base. Okay. Anyways, he goes on to say, basically, the whole point of this entire thing is that once you now have an existing customer base and you sell something more expensive, that's where you're going to cash flow hard, right? A lot of profits for me. That's where I start coming in. But now I want to make this more profitable, right? So now the top stage is profitable and this middle stage is more profitable. How do I do that? I create a mechanism, funnel/offer, down here at the bottom to acquire more at a break-even level, making subsequent selling transactions both really profitable. Right? If 10 people bought this out of 100, maybe half a person out of 100 would buy this. Okay. But then I'm just going to fill the hopper up. Just going to fill it up. And what's introducing a lot of these things to the marketplace? The fact that I podcast. Dang it. I just let that out. Okay. That's it. I'm creating a relationship. I'm telling a lot of stories. I'm breaking false beliefs that I know the audience is having as I start to say things that I know are not real. I create a story around my episode. At the end of each episode, pay close attention to whatever it is that I'm promoting in the outro. The outro often introduces a new thing inside of the value ladder, right? Or reminds that it's still there. Okay. So I'm creating the relationship. I'm leading with a butt ton of value, far more than I give so much away in my podcast. It's ridiculous. Okay. And then afterwards, though, what it's doing is it's getting them on my list. I now have over 16,000 people on my list. Right. That means that pretty much I'm at a point now where pretty much any selling transaction, right, anything that I drop out there is almost guaranteed success now, unless I'm just like turning into a freaking idiot or something. Okay. Makes sense? That is what I call value ladder design. Now, let me finish the hacking the value ladder part of this. Okay. Some things to be aware of as you move forward on this. Some things to be aware of as you move forward is this. So we still need that there. Okay. Okay. As far as time to fulfill goes, it's really fascinating. When you're first starting out and you don't really have a value ladder yet, and you're making this first core offer, the amount of time it takes to fulfill on each sale is actually a little bit high. And the reason is because you have the task on you of making sure that what you're creating is actually the core of your business, right? The hot dog for the hot dog stand, like we were talking about last time. And so it's interesting because there's actually there's an interesting relationship between the middle and the top. The time to fulfill in the middle is, in what I found, is usually the highest. Okay. So it takes usually more time right here. So actually, let me grab a different color here again. I honestly don't remember where I put my marker. Okay, no worries. I'll use this one. Okay, the time to fulfill for the middle here, I usually mark it as about a 3, right? 1 being the smallest, 3 being the highest. I've usually noticed that that's the one, right? And there's a lot of work that happens at the beginning of it, but then you get to this point where you're like, I think it's good. I actually think I'm creating what the market wants combined with what I know that they also would want to buy, right? They don't know to ask for the iPhone. They don't know to ask for the car. So it's a combination of those things. What's fascinating, though, is that when you actually go sell something that's more expensive, a lot of times what I've noticed is that the amount of time it takes you to fulfill on those tops is not actually as much. And it's not that it still takes a lot of time to fulfill at that top, but it takes less effort than it does to create a core offer that represents an entire new ocean. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so typically it's less time to fulfill at the top. But it's funny enough where you also cash flow the hardest. Okay, typical margins, I'm going to mark that one as a 3 and this one as a 2. Okay, it's fascinating. The middle of the value ladder, not as much margins and more time, but as soon as you start going to that top thing, what we've noticed is that most of the time when an inner circle member goes in and adds any kind of back end, it usually will double their entire business without them growing their list. It's just their existing customer base, like I was just talking about, goes and buys the next thing. So there's less money. There's less time, but there's more margins that will come from it, which is a super cool move. And you end up serving people who are very ready for whatever that you're doing, which is a lot of fun. Okay. Down here at the bottom, I want to be careful as I write this one down. Okay. Typical margins on something in the bottom here is obviously a 1. Okay. It's kind of ugly, but I'm going to write it right there. Okay. Typical margins at the bottom there is typically a 1. The time to fulfill is also a 1, but the time to create ahead of time is usually really, really high. Okay. The amount of time that it takes to create something in the beginning there. I mean, think how much time I've spent on the 7-day launch. 3 days. You know how much I could build in 3 days? I spent 3 days on this, right? And way before that, and I've hardly slept the last few nights because I know this is important. Okay. But the time to create the thing at the bottom usually is very high, which is super fascinating because most of the time what I find is people are afraid to charge. And it's because they're afraid to charge. They're afraid to charge for something that also takes them a huge amount of time to make. One of the, I remember there's an event I was speaking at, and this guy was like, "Hey, should I go write a book?" Now that I know that book funnel was doing so well for ClickFunnels, and I was giving a lot of examples. He's like, "Should I go write a book now for an acquisition funnel?" And I said, "My gosh, no." He said, "What do you mean?" I was like, "You don't need to write a whole book for an acquisition funnel, right? That's a ton of work. That is so much more work than me just putting an application funnel up and driving it to an existing list." You see what I'm saying? I can't do that unless I have a list. Okay. But that's why I typically will always, that literally contradicts itself. I always build in this order. I always start here and then I go up to cash flow. Okay. Then I come down here to the bottom. The only caveat with that as well is that this is number 0 for specifically this one. I don't know if you guys have wondered if you should be publishing, right? Content creates the ecosystem that allows your market to survive. So if you don't have any content and you literally are the first one inside of a blue ocean, it's hard for them to keep the beliefs alive when they suddenly realize, am I the only one here? Right? We like security in numbers, right? So this helps them keep those beliefs alive so that you have time to inflate and actually create and blow. I feel like it's almost, I think of it like a balloon, right? Right. And as you're going in and you're blowing this balloon up, before it's blown up and they walk in, they're like, whoa, right? The content is the thing that keeps the belief alive, which is the other reason why you got to publish, right? And anyway, I have a thing that will come out probably for the next little while here. I don't know how long, but it's called My Content Machine. And My Content Machine will walk through on a heavy in this type of style and this level of depth, how I actually do all my publishing. There's an episode that just went out while I've been on with you guys, and which is awesome. How am I doing that? Right? We get over, I remember the first month, I was stoked that I got 1,100 downloads on Sales Funnel Radio. Now we get that a day, right? And I only do 2 podcasts a week on that show, which is crazy. So anyway, how did I do that? And how did I do it when I sucked at speaking? How did I learn all that? So anyways, I'll walk through that so that this becomes more easy for people, because I want to make sure that's super documented. But anyway, so that's it. So I hope you guys understand, understand that typically what happens again is that, right, you're going to spend a lot of time in that middle one, which is okay, because it allows you to go in and make things that's pure profit. And this is your acquisition funnel for a little while, right? And then once you have a top one, I stop making this middle one be an acquisition funnel, and I start building these down here for actual real acquisition funnels. And the only purpose of this is to get them to consume the core product, which is awesome, and the whole reason why the whole thing exists, but then I'll ultimately ascend them to my monetization styled funnels after that. Okay. All right. As far as style goes, didn't know there was this much into it. Okay. All right. As far as style goes, I don't want to get too far into this. Guys, all right if I keep going here? Anyone dead? Let me keep going. All right. The style, let me think about it this way. Presentation matters, right? It does matter. And I'm not talking about branding before anyone tries to call me on that. I'm not talking about branding, but presentation, right? It does matter. And specifically, what I'm saying is the manner in which you present the offer to somebody, that matters. What the pattern is that I've noticed is this. Let's take a standard. Actually, this would be kind of a cool way to do this. All right, a standard tripwire funnel would be looking like something like this, right? So drawing it right here. All right, we have the main product, and then upsell, upsell, downsell, thank you page. That's very standard acquisition style funnel. It's awesome. The way in which an offer is delivered, I still create the offer and gather the data in the same manners that I was talking about before, but I'm not presenting the entire offer right on the first page, meaning they're not seeing what upsell 2 is on the first order page. They're just seeing the first one. And then it's like, well, if you want, this actually really accelerates your experience. If you want OTO 1, one-time offer 2, I'm sorry, one-time offer number 1, right? That would actually be really, really helpful for you in this place. Right? OTO 2, that'd be really, really helpful for you in this place. I'm not taking each of those products and presenting them on the first page, right? This is what I call it. It's called the drip. Okay, so I drip the offer on acquisition styled funnels. The offer is dripped out to them, meaning I'm going to take each of those products in the offer and I'm going to drip it out to them, right? Drip out the first product on the first page, right? I'm still going to go create the same kinds of offers. I'm still going to go create what I call a stack slide, but I'm going to take it and now it's going to go like that, where I have the first one, second one, third one presented in the pages in order that they make sense, however they make sense to present them in. Makes sense? So this is a drip. Usually the offer is dripped out in this style of funnels, right? A VSL, there's going to be video sales letter, and then usually there's, right, upsell, upsell, downsell. That's usually how VSL funnels go. Invisible funnel is a bunch of value up ahead, but they're still going in, and you can there's things throughout it for them to purchase as you keep moving forward. Anyway, you guys get the point. Okay, summit funnels be very much kind of a similar way. It technically is an online event, like a 7-day launch. Events can be one of the things that's actually delivered in multiple phases of the value ladder. But anyway, so this is dripped. And acquisition style funnels usually drip the offer. That's not the same thing though for how it's actually presented. Let's go to the top. At the top, let's look at like a standard webinar funnel, right? Usually there is a registration page. Then there's like some kind of thank you page right there. And you actually have the webinar and then an order page, right? It's super, super short. But where do they see the offer? On a webinar, they see the entire offer at the same time. Everything that's in it, right? Everything's in the offer. So let's say it's like right here. They're going to see everything. Okay, so you see everything at the beginning of, you see everything all at the exact same time, okay? An application style funnel is the exact same thing. You see everything at the exact same time, okay? I'm sorry, I had webinar in my mind. Webinar's on this one. I'm thinking of application funnel. First, there's an application. I was like, that doesn't make sense. It's because anyway, I was thinking webinar, but I was drawing for application. I was like, that's jacked with my head. Where's it supposed to go? On an application, right? I just revealed that one. That's hilarious. On an application funnel, where do they see the offer? Right? I'll tell you, for Offer Lab, before anyone even applies to join it, because I don't let anyone in, just anybody, they have to go actually apply to come in. And it is an actual application. And we do turn people away. Where do they see the offer, right? It's not dripped out page by page by page, piece by piece on page by page. They see everything at the beginning, right? Everything's at the actual beginning right here. The full stack, the whole offer. Boom, 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 boom. This is what you're going to get if you're accepted. Come and apply. Okay, so they see the entire offer typically at the beginning of those types of funnels. And that's why it's high ticket, right? Look, this is what you're going to get, but like, I don't know if you're going to make it. Why don't you apply to see if you're in? Okay, that's super. Mastermind, a lot of times you gotta be let in. They let you in, they accept you, right? Which means you're gonna know the offer before you even try to go in, right? Anyway, now webinar. Okay, as far as a webinar goes, right? There's registration page, thank you page, then the actual broadcast page, and then the order. Okay, what's fascinating about this style is that usually the types of, like a launch, how much content goes out before you actually know that there's an offer coming? Traditionally, at least 3 videos, right? There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff at the very, very end. At the beginning, before you see what the offer actually is. It's the exact opposite of this one, right? Usually for like an ask as well, I'm going to go in, I'm going to deliver a lot of value. I mean, that's what they tell you to do, right? Deliver a lot of value the whole way. And then finally you go create the product at the very end and drop it out to them, right? It's at the end. Okay. That's the answer to this one. So it's usually, right, it's like towards the end. I'll say between these two. That's when you actually start to see what the offer is. And you see everything that's inside of it, again, kind of all at the exact same time, but not towards the end. It's really fascinating behaviors in the way that we see the offers that we'll go and we purchase. And it's far more than just, let's put it on this page, put it on this page, this page. So like, there's actually a pattern to this. And when I noticed this, I was like, holy crap, that's nuts. So ending. So what I call this is Deb. You follow Deb. D-E-B. Man, thing's moving. Okay, I follow Deb. Meaning, if I know it's towards the middle, I'm going to more than likely accept the fact that I'm going to be doing a lot of things ahead of time before they see the offer at the end. Okay. If I understand it's an acquisition style funnel, I need to be cognizant of looking at seeing what products in the offer would be really cool to lead with that act as that tripwire, so that at least they'll start seeing the next ones. Okay. If I know that I'm going to make something really, really, I want to make something that's highly valuable, really expensive for them, something that they're really going to enjoy, but they need to know the offer ahead of time. I would never spend a lot of money without knowing what I'm buying, right? No one would do that. So these things typically will go towards the front of those types of funnels and that funnel style. Make sense? That's what I call the style. So it's the offer style. This is the offer role, typically the role of this offer and these funnels that are associated with it. And then over here, the typical time to fulfill, as well as typical margins. I typically always build them. Again, that's literally a contradictory phrase. I gotta stop saying that. I always build them in the middle, then I go expensive, and then I go to the bottom. There's a lot of different opinions around that. For me, I do it because it makes most sense for the numbers. And it makes me actually build a business and have cash flow and cash in the business to hire out things so that I can create business systems, right? I'm not saying you fight the systems. I'm saying you got to create them, but I create them after I create revenue, not before, like I was taught in college. Okay. Being able to go and understand that being able to spend $1 and get more than $1 or at least $1 back out, break even, that is $1 million scenario. All right. So when that happens to you, you're not like, oh, it's funny. The first dollar I ever made on the internet was with affiliate marketing. And I spent tons of time, so much time going in and designing out, learning a lot of affiliate marketing. And I was sitting in my internet marketing class. It was the class I was most excited for all of college. And I'm sitting there, and you guys all know the story. I was like, crap, I don't want to be here. Right? The stuff they were teaching was so old in comparison to what I could tell was working on the internet. So at the end of the class, that I think it was the second class period, I stood up, I drew a funnel, although I didn't know that's what it was. And I said, hey, I want to go do this instead of this class. And he shockingly said, okay. And I took the other guy that looked like he was bored out of his mind, and we went and we did affiliate marketing. And we tried to make as much money as we physically could every day for 3 hours for the whole semester. And it was awesome. And I learned a ton. And I remember, I'm so sad that this happened, guys, but I remember I was like, we didn't have a lot of money at that time. We were living on loans, and I think I was on business try number 9 or 10. I was getting close. I was getting a lot closer. I'd already tried a lot of stuff by that point. Like the 12, 13, 14, 15, that range of tries for me was the magic ones. Those are the ones that made all the difference, where suddenly all these ahas started clicking. Holy crap. And then poof, ever since then, pretty much everything we've launched past that has been quite successful. That's not me boasting. I hope you guys understand what I'm doing. I'm trying to teach you guys this stuff. But anyway, what I learned was the power of acquiring customers at break even. Because what happened was, even though we were living on loans, I spent $50 on ads. And I spent those $50 on ads. And when I spent it, I was like super nervous. right? It's for this affiliate product that I found at ClickBank. And I went to bed that night and I woke back up. You know, it was hard for me to sleep. I woke up and it was $50 was a lot to me at the time, you know, and I woke up and I ran to my computer, logged in, and there was $50 back in. 60, I think. I think we had just barely broken even or something like that. Anyway, we didn't lose money. We hardly made any money though. We put 17 people on our list and we didn't lose any money. And I am so ashamed to say that I thought it was a failure. And I hung my head. Dang it, man, that's a failure. Oh, we didn't make any money. We broke even on the first time I ever tried to spend money on ads. And we had set 17 people to the list. What? Like, I should have kept that going. I would have got this big break-even list and sold them something else afterwards. I just didn't understand what I'm telling you now, right? I'm trying to redefine what it means to be successful with this. And I'm trying to redefine what you know to be as a win, okay? Because a win is $1 in and $1 back out, where you can go in and then afterwards upsell them on anything, okay? And then anyway, this is like the marriage between mainstream entrepreneurship and business structures meets modern marketing and lots of tools that no one has any idea that actually exists and has for a while and is really proven. Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate that. If you guys go give me a review on sjlreview.com, that'd be awesome. Please be ruthless, be forward. Tell me exactly what you're thinking. That'd be really cool. Let me head over here to the chat. All right. Love it. Okay, guys. I think I gotta like mute my phone here. You guys are dropping on in for OfferMind. I'm excited to have you guys. I appreciate that. Again, go to offermind.com and we'll get you guys, like I said, the tickets. We get you the shirts. We get you. You have immediate access to the replays from last year. You also, as soon as we get these up, you'll have immediate access, which should probably be tomorrow. I think we'll give you access to as well as these videos. And then get that Oink pack. I tried to buy oink.com, but it was already taken. But anyway, we're only doing that till Monday at midnight. Excited to have you guys. I'm about to drop it out to the rest of the audience. So you guys are the first to know. But I'd love to have you guys come on in here. Okay, let's jump on in here. Need a discount code to OFA. I will make sure you have that very soon as well. Thanks for reminding me. I'll get that out to you soon. Is there any way to get historical price points other than purchasing from competitors? You don't have to buy it. I mean, I would buy it. It's a fantastic education. But what I would do is, you know, it's funny. Like I was saying, as soon as anybody asks me about what I do and they show general interest because what we do is not normal, I'm like, let me barf all. I'm going to tell you everything. Right? It's not like I hold back secrets. You guys hear everything on Sales Funnel Radio, right? It's been a great 3 days, Steve. Hey, appreciate that, Kevin. Truth Nukes on Friday. Boom, bam. Appreciate it. Discounts. Psh, poor problem route. Strategically, I'm using it for something, but I totally get what you're saying. You're probably being redirected to the waiting list page. Oh yeah. You should be able to do it on incognito or something like that though, because it's already been redirected and people are actually buying now. So yes, publishing is free content, definitely free. Steve, what's up? Makes sense. Oh man, I want to say the F word so bad because it's so effing good. Appreciate it. Someone said F word, fire truck. Yeah, definitely. Freak. Run some numbers on how break even is $1 million scenario, please. I know that's vague, but I'm a fiend for numbers. Yeah, totally. Meaning what I'm saying is anything you sell afterwards. So I like to sell information. Let me tell you why. There was a lady that I was coaching. It's probably only like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And she's a musician. And she's a very nice lady. She was awesome. Now, watch this scenario real quick here. This should be very, very encouraging for a lot of you guys who are like trying to figure out if you should move forward on something like this. This is an amazing opportunity, okay? And I feel weird. Makes me feel all biz-oppy, but it's true, though. It is a huge opportunity, and it changes the whole business model as we know it. Here's what's interesting about this, okay? If I go in, how amazing do you have to be to make money as an artist? You got to be really good, right? I'm saying really, really good, right? For you to make money as a musician, we're talking the top, tippity top, right? All the way to the top in order for you to make actual cash with this stuff. Okay, artist skill, Okay. It's got to be a 5. You got to be really, 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 really good. Okay. And how much money do you make as an artist traditionally, typically, stereotypically, right? Like a 1, right? You make like no cash. You really, right? And we all know that. Like, oh, that's starving artist is a term for a reason. Okay. And here's what's fascinating. If you were to be somewhat of a good artist, but teach other people certain types of strategies, or let's say the history of art or the history of whatever music piece that you've learned how to play or whatever, you actually can combine information with artists. And that is where massive people cash flow very hard now, right? So if I go in now I say, if I first lead with info and I sell how-to stuff that is really, truly valuable, right? What's the skill level I need in order to make money in the info product space right now? I'm going to say a 1, okay? Because there's a lot of people who are just really, really bad at selling it, but they have a good thing. They're just bad at selling it and they still make great money, or enough money to massively supplement their income or pay bills or whatever, okay? You can be quite bad at this and make good cash. Boop. Right? That's why it's such a huge deal. So if you're going to go in here, like understand that one of the things I like to look at here is, right, if I go break even, I got break even with this whole thing. If I'm selling $1,000 thing or a $500 thing, which is not abnormal for the internet, and if you have any kind of aversion to that as I say that, price, 1,000, I'd never pay 1,000. You're not buying it, right? You're not the one buying it. Get over it. Historical price points around info product space is around 500 to even 3,000 bucks. Okay. So if I wouldn't buy it, well, first of all, make sure you're making a good thing. Hopefully that's not the reason why you wouldn't buy it. Second of all, like, understand that people are already buying that like crazy. So we have $1,000 product right now that we're out selling. It costs us about $100 to $130, $150 to generate one buyer. Okay. But one buyer is worth how much? $1,000. And we're about to raise the price of that. So there's a few things I go do with it. I can now remove my ad costs, which is what we did. We start selling a small product in front of it for only $57. And we get about 4 or 5 $57 purchases for every $1,000 purchase. Now, if you notice what just happened there, if we're spending $120 to $150 to generate a $1,000 buyer, but now we're doing what's 4 or 5? What's 5 times $57? $200, which means now that $200 goes towards spending ads, which is previously what we were spending to generate a buyer. We just liquidated our ad costs. Now it's literally basically $1,000 pure profit, and they come in multiple times a day. Okay, so what should I go do? What I always do, I started a podcast for that particular product, and it fuels it. And all this money that came in, we just took that cash and dumped it right back into ads. And now we have something at the top, and we have another thing at the top. Okay, and it's stupid easy when you start looking at numbers that way with this whole game. Okay. But when you combine info as something, because people will pay for information, and because it's really has this not been valuable? I mean, come on, this is ridiculous, right? This is ridiculous. I know that this is a little bit maybe even too far and intense is what I should be going on for this free thing, right? Anyway, that's why it works so well. See, no wonder so many businesses fail. It's the JCurve strategy. A lot of them, yeah. And then they go under, and then people own your thing. It's rough. A break-even funnel means you've added customers who obviously in your market without costing money. Your ad spend is net or slightly exceeded. And the next time they buy, you didn't have to spend money to get them in order to purchase something. So it's pure profit minus your expenses to fulfill. Yeah, exactly. It's awesome. The industry model is the reason I lost my shirt 10 years ago. Thanks for this, Steven. It's rough, isn't it? The JCurve is like, sucks. The old system makes me want to pop my eyes out. I want a cash cow funnel. Yeah. Do that. So my encouragement though is for everybody, right? That's what OfferMind is. That is actually the purpose of my course, Offer Lab. Okay. It's a year-long coaching program with me and a bunch of other coaches that came from my Rolodex. And then it's a specific 3-day event where you go through and you're highly prepared. There's a lot of material I have you guys go through, and it's very fill in the blank. Then you come into the actual event and we're looking at it. It's workshop-ish. Okay. It's not me just sprecking in. Okay. And it's everything about helping an individual launch their core offer. That's why Offer Lab was built. If you're interested, we have actually the next event is at the end of May, right? May 23rd, 24th, 25th. And you need a few weeks ahead of time to go through the stuff. So if you are interested, go to myofferlab.com and fill out the application because we got to get you in soon if you are interested in that one. The next one isn't for a bit. So I'm going to have to watch both classes again before midnight. This is not a one-time listen. Yeah, it's a little bit intense. I know it is, but yeah. I'd rather get it all out in one video where you can press pause. They probably get indoctrinated by VCs. Cool, fascinating, massive value to anyone. Yeah. So why did Facebook still charge me additionally after I turned all my ads off? I don't know. I'm not a Facebook guy. I can't wait for network marketing book to arrive. Yeah, it should be cool. A real book story. Oh, yeah. Now, does anyone know where I can download Steve's brain? What's the name of the book name? Book name. Oh, Ready, Fire, Aim. Good stuff, huh? Yeah. Let's see. There's a funnel. Thanks, Mike. Michael Masterson. This man's a genius. Yeah, he's a beast. This is some good crap. Dang it. We got to make that shirt now. I just put that poop emoji with like hashtag good crap. My funnel. My funnel poops hashtag good crap. We could have it so it's pooping out. Anyway, you made me launch yesterday, Papa Steve. Hey, super cool. It's awesome. Break even is $1 million biz. Right. Yeah. With the idea that you're going to go sell something afterwards. I've been in business been in a 15-year learning loop. Rough, isn't it? Yeah. So for a newbie with no list yet and starting publishing in 2 weeks now, I can sell straight to the red ocean with my core offer for $9.97. Definitely. That's what I did. And that's what I encourage most people to go do. And it's because you don't need many of them a month to really start making it worth your time. And you can be really, I'm going to tell you, you can be really, really, really freaking bad at Facebook ads. Spending $1,000 to generate $1,000 buyer is highly unlikely. I can't guarantee that, but that's usually what happens, right? You spend $1,000 to generate $1,000 buyer. That's a lot of leeway, right? It's only costing $20 to generate a buyer for ClickFunnels just for the book. I know it's still a webinar, right? And it's still going to go, and it's more expensive for sure. So the cost is going to be higher, but hire somebody out. Steve is great. So should I publish? If you want to. Let's see. Does the webinar and the core offer Ascension step must come directly from the red ocean, or should the webinar be sent to the list created into the acquisition step? Yeah. So, hey, great question. Actually, I'm sorry. Actually, it's a fantastic question. So as you start to build this thing, right, and you build out the middle of the value ladder, and again, it doesn't need to be webinar, but I highly encourage it. That's actually what Russell has told many people. If he ever had a gun to his head and someone's like, you got to make $1 million, that's how he would do it if he had to start from scratch. This is still live now. Yeah. And even if it wasn't, I don't know why it's such a big deal. The content's great. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go and I'm going to drive ads to the red ocean. But as I go and I make something at the top and I start to make something at the bottom, definitely going to start promoting them, right? As I send them, each step ascends and is served up to the next level, right? Served up to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level, right? Now you might have more things in your value ladder. It might be longer than this, but I tend to think of these in phases, okay? Where you're like, you know what? This tripwire really should promote the summit or whatever. And so that might be broken out into two different actual steps, the way you actually build it. But I think of these in phases as I go, and I do it. Great question though, definitely. Everything that comes forward. So one of the things you guys will see me do soon here, because now I have designed out and I've built out the core of my value ladder. Okay. And I have a top. It's now time for me to do bottom things, which is literally what I'm doing right now. Okay. But the other thing you'll start to see me doing soon as well is I will make an email sequence to whatever list they join. It will guide them through and walk them through each of the things in my value ladder. And just so that they know, customer education is one of the biggest reasons somebody doesn't buy from you, meaning they just don't know that what you're selling is what you also have. How many of you guys knew I had Offer Lab? I know a lot of you don't, right? Because I haven't been talking about it yet. I've just been selling it to my existing buyers in the middle of the value ladder. I'm not announcing it to my general huge list, but as I move forward, I definitely will have an email sequence that says, hey, do you know there's a cool story behind this? If you want, here's this or that or this or that, right? In fact, the footer in a lot of my emails is everything in the value ladder, or a lot of it, right? to help people understand, look, you can come and do these other things. It's ridiculous, by the way. We've tracked how much money comes in from people clicking links in footers. It's mind-bending. I had no idea. One of the easiest ways I can give you all a pay raise right now, go create a footer with all the things that you do in it and clone it, make it your template. Let's see. Steven's success seems to be much of reading, understanding concepts, and applying. We need to do more of that. He's successful because no one is doing that. Yeah, I believe that 100%. I do a lot of studying, a lot of learning. Anyway, is this still live? I'm a little bit late. Second watch now. If you want to see it from live point, you have to scroll to the end. Had to rewind. There's a catch all the gold. If you go back up to you can double speed, catch up. So amazing. Here comes everything taught. Steven, double speed. Dude, you're trying to cause a rip in the time-space continuum. I used to listen to Russell at 2x speed. I can't do it anymore. I got to back it off and actually listen. Anyone else I can actually listen to at 2x speed. Let's see. He's right. I have to take action now. Keep going, baby. So dang afraid of choosing the wrong market. But as he said, just pick one and later you can expand. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Take the pressure down and understand that all these choices don't actually sit on your shoulders, which is one of the it's such a good thing to realize as an entrepreneur. My ability to be successful with this is actually, it's not so much on my shoulders as it is like as far as the decision making. All I have to do is learn how to listen to what the market's been telling me to do. And then put it in these frameworks and just move, right? What I'm doing right now, the reason I knew how to do it is because I learned it as a strategy, and then I've been listening to the market. And I realized a lot of people have questions about OfferMind recordings that I don't think I actually went through in those. That's why this is more valuable in my opinion, my honest opinion, than last year's OfferMind recordings. Can you really quickly read back your handwriting? Words very hard to read. There's a lot on there. I'll go back here just a little bit here. I'm freaking 23 now. Started learning from Russell when I was 16. Nice. I had an advertising funnel agency for a while, starting to do OFA now in the acquisition funnel. Should I stop this and do my core offer instead? No, the purpose of the One Funnel Away Challenge is to teach you the mechanics of funnel building and get you one that's actually creating customers that break even for you. That's the purpose of it. And part of that reason is that it is a little bit more intense to create a core offer. Like I said, there's a lot more back and forth, and you might take longer than a month to do that. And that challenge is only a month. So I would still do what's teaching you to do that. Are they offering OFA again now? I think until the 20. Yes, but he's actually closing it up soon. Is it closed tonight or last night? I'm sorry. One Funnel Away.
No, I thought it was still the 29th.
Oh, 29th. Okay. I knew there was a 2 in it. Okay. Okay, sweet. Oh, someone just said that. Starts at 29th. Man, I got to keep reading sometimes. They're pausing it for a while. Yeah, I couldn't handle the speed we were moving at. So April, then June, July. How'd you come across Tony? Boom. Application funnel CF certified partner got me sucked right in. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's exactly what that is. Now, it's not saying that some of these funnel types can't work in other areas of the value ladder. That's just saying that generally, especially if you're just starting out, right? So what would happen, right, is it's actually a webinar in the middle, but then it pushes to an application funnel, right, for the CF certified stuff. What's the website for OfferLab? If you go to myofferlab.com, myofferlab.com. Here we go. Let's see. Please check out my new channel. Content coming very soon. The aim of the channel is to have viewers suggest anything and everything I would like to see, and we'll make it happen. That's really freaking weird. I'm going to delete this. All right. Really, I just met. Oh, cool. See, if you build out the Ascension level first, how are you getting customers? Right. So this is multi. So like I was saying before, this is your acquisition funnel from the red ocean, right, at first, because you're testing to see, can my more expensive things sell? If I can sell something that's a little bit more expensive, the cheap stuff, especially the way that your audience will look at it, it's really easy to acquire additional customers coming on in. If I can't promote We talk about the webinar being the litmus test. If I can actually sell something in a webinar, we believe that we're ready to rock and build out the rest of the value ladder. If I can't even sell it in a webinar, then I get nervous. And if you're like, I'm in food storage, guess what? We actually did a webinar for food storage once, okay? It doesn't matter what you're in. Webinars are just a method of selling. You don't need to be in the info product space. And they don't need to be like 2 hours long either. They can be fast. Need to get ahead on these points. Can you recommend? I don't know where that comment just went. It just reloaded. 13 pages of notes later. Thank you, Steve. This couldn't have been more perfect timing for what was needed. Can't wait to meet you someday. Appreciate that. Hopefully coming to OfferMind. Can we make the webinar evergreen? Yeah, but I wouldn't for a long time. You don't want to automate something that's not working. You might think that this doesn't work. Usually it takes a few rounds. Let's see. Is there an affiliate program for OfferMind? No, there's not. By the way, some of the links within your footer don't work. I think I need to go update some of them. Thanks for telling me, though. Appreciate that, Dane. How are you live on Facebook right now, too? What? I got some skills. My offerlab.com is saying May session is closed, meaning you have to apply. So if you just click, you go through the application, it's closed to the general public. You have to go through the application. We will call you. If you go through that, we will be calling you in the next day or two here. Okay. It's a legitimate thing. We go in and say, hey, if you're ready for this, awesome. If you're not, like, we don't just take somebody just because they have the cash. This is a very serious instance of, are they willing and able and ready? Are they a dream, scenario? That's not saying don't apply, but I'd love to do that. Caleb Maddox. Yeah, he's the man. I actually helped build one of their funnels. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Welcome. Mainly focused on using funnels, my main market, network marketing product. This all seems a little advanced for me right now. No, focus on affiliate marketing with you and Russell agree. Actually, affiliate network marketing was the product that we launched into. It's the one that does like $2 to $5 grand a day usually. SecretMLMhacks.com will give you all of this watered down for MLM. I love that you're on Facebook Live here at the same time. It's cool. It went live. I didn't know when it was going to. How much is VIP ticket? Go to the funnel. You'll find out. There are funnel names that I had not heard of. Just heard of OFA. Where do I learn about these other things? Go to stevejlarson.com. That's my funnel hub. stevejlarson.com. And then up at the top, click on programs and then click on value ladder. And it'll walk you through all this stuff. No matter what I get reserved, no matter what I do, I get the reserve page for OFA. I sent support, for OfferMind. I'll go and I'll deep clear the cache on the server level also to make sure that nothing was jacked up. Is your MLM hack system available for white label? No. Great start, but we have a ton of affiliates for it though. It sells really easily. All right, guys. See you guys later. Words in Facebook Live are backwards. That sucks. Anyway, whatever. Hey, excited for all this, though. Thank you so much for tuning into this. Thank you so much for being a part of the OfferMind Masterclass. We'd love to have you guys actually OfferMind. It will not be this content. I'm sure there'll be overlapping things because it's about offers, and we just talked about offers. But it's not. Anyways, we'll talk about more ways to actually. I don't want to give it away. So come to OfferMind. We'd love to have you guys there. Again, if you guys want what we've gone through on a very, very deep level, plus more stuff, make sure you guys get a ticket by the end of my birthday, which is April 22nd, this Monday at midnight Mountain Time. And we will go ahead and get you over all the stuff. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later, and we'll see you guys hopefully at OfferMind. Thanks for tuning in.